with this collection, we were actually really interested in exploring how we all hear of these Asian folk tales from when we're young, and I mean I don't know about you when you were young, but I always felt that the endings were really simplistic. Like the resolution comes so quickly, and there's so many strange things that nobody else thinks to pick up on.
You said that, but I was wondering what sort of Chinese fairy tale or what Asian fairy tale were you referring to?
There's so many. I mean, okay, for example, the one where there's an elderly father-in-law, and then there's a woman, and I can't remember the details, but she allows him to breastfeed on her because he's too weak or something.
Oh no, it's a mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law, sorry.
It's weird, intergenerational lesbians.
No, it's not. Okay, but you see, that's the other thing that interests me, which is that we have this common ground of of this melting pot of a lot of folklore, because we come from this so-called whatever semi-cosmopolitan, semi-multiracial
yes,
kind of conglomeration.
Yes, we are in a city where there is where there's a meeting of cultures, a meeting of Asian cultures, and even if we don't always recognize that, and I thought it would be very interesting to have people have these cultures speak with each other. To have I mean, often people were writing about cultures which were not there.
That as well.
Yes, cultures, story. Some people we're radically interpreting legends which they didn't grow up with. Other times they were stories that we grew up with, but we weren't always given specific ownership. Such as the author Anila Angin, who is not actually, she's actually Chinese. It's just that she chooses to cloak herself with a pseudonym. She decided to do an Arabian Nights story, and she did the heck out of it.
You'll know why Yi-Sheng likes it if you read the piece. So it's called The Switch and it's inside.
So Folktale was the one it was found in one academic essay by one David Charter, Professor David Charter. It was an academic essay. Where the folktale was the story Count Block. I think I can introduce the tale of the
Yes, that would be good. Yeah, I think that's one of the more unfamiliar ones. Like we receive quite a lot of Fox Rhyme ones. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice stand up. So done.
Alright. So the tale was found in one academic essay by one Professor David Charter, and in his essay, Songs of the Forest. It was a discussion on ideas of hierarchy and social order, which were three tales, one of which was this, Rail on Count Block, which was one of those explanatory tales, explaining how something the natural was as it was. So in this case, they explain why one particular bird had a call that sounded like Count Block, which in Khmer means child of the world or child of humanity. So in the original tale, three girls were abandoned by their mother and left in the forest. So they were given only a handful of grain with which to eat and ember to keep themselves warm. Eventually, a Arakadevata, the Deva being of course a Hindu god, found them in the forest and tried to protect them. Provided with raw fish and snails and so on. And so after eating these raw foods and snails and fish, this avian diet, they underwent metamorphosis rather reminiscent of Ovid into birds. So eventually their neglected mother, who abandoned them in the forest in the first place, tried to find them, but they then turned into birds. So they flew away and their mother tried to run from them. And they said, stay back, no, because we have turned into birds, we're no longer Count Block, no longer human. And despite their warnings, the mother still ran after them, and the cruel woman, as in all fairy tales, died in the pursuit. There we are. Nice little archetypal folk tale. And if you may, I'll leave the excerpt.
It's a beginning.
Okay. Sorry. Count Block. The mother had a nightmare again, the same one every night since her husband died, and she dreamt she saw a spirit in Arakadevata, Nyakata, great children. Each time she dreamt the dream, the spirit took a different shape. In the night, she learned the news of her husband's passing was an old man with a beard of twigs, sometimes made of hard-moving pebbles in a smokeless flame, or a spring of mud water that bathed each of her 3 girls in turn that night. The Nyakta was a woman with a bosom of clustered figs, and grew her penis of bundled stalks of rice so thick and true-blooded, using the youngest of her children, and the blood dripped onto the naked ground and was swallowed by the dirt. Her children's eyes were blank, opened but without pupils. They did not cry out for her in her dream. The mother no longer screamed as she woke, but when the nightmare had ended, she would still slip into her daughter's room and stay awake all night to watch over her 3 girls as they cuddled each other in their sleep. Yet, when she entered their room that night, they were not there. She tore out the house. Whether by patience or foreboding, she ran to the edge of the forest. There, the margin between the village and the trees that surrounded it, where the wild things that lived in the foliage almost encroached upon the space of human houses, she called out her daughter's names. She waited. When we heard the wild hoots of the mountains, she awakened, and a violent mating call to nocturnal her, and from the trees above came the sibilants of wind sifting through the highest leaves and hiss of snakes. The trees before her stood dense and moralistic, with neither charm nor prayer. She stepped past the edge into the forest. As she did in her nightmares the weeks past, she trod barefoot on the roots and mud and rocks of the forest deep into its interior. Somnambulistic, the pace was steady, almost reassuring. There, deep in the forest heart, and amongst the silhouettes of trees, in a clearing stood her 3 young daughters, naked in the shallow pond. The mother ran to earth, but tripped on an outstretched root, and fell into the pond, prone. She raised her head, tried desperately not to let the daughters out of her sight. But they stood still, did not look down at their fallen mother. Their eyes were black, as though consumed by their pupils. She tried to get up, but the mud beneath her feet gave way. She fell once more, and when she looked up again, she saw, standing behind her 3 daughters, the Nyakta. This time it was neither stones nor water, but took the form of her dead husband, crooned soft, wordless lullabies, called each little girl by name, just like the mother did. Stroked their hair, caressed the soft and naked arm, gathered them into its bosom, and tenderly fed each girl a snail or worm. As she watched, the children's flesh melted off their bones and dripped down like many long, thin icicles from their outstretched arms. The stiffened spines of flesh grew barbs, fanged out, turned into feathers, some as grey as mildew, some as black as topsoil. Her daughter's lips were pinched from their chubby cheeks, their lips turned horny and sharp, and gave a loud cry when they opened, with sarcasm and with a laugh, as the birds knew how to laugh. They called, "Come not, we are human, we are the children of man." The mother called out their names one last time, but they did not hear. They flapped their half-formed wings and beat the mother with their half-unformed hands. The daughters kissed her eyes, pecked them out with their beaks. The mother's eyes were soft, they tasted like the snails their father fed them. In the morning, when the villagers ventured into the forest with all the proper chanting prayers, they found her body, pecked full of holes and drained of blood. It was left to rot, hanging in the barbs and thorns of a rattan called high in the canopy. The mother, because she died, must have been an evil mother, received just punishment. The village people muttered amongst themselves about what a cruel wife she was. No wonder her husband died so young. They, her kinsmen, recounted a tale as a warning to all wicked wives and mothers. Take care of your children. Know that the gods and spirits are watching. The people of the village pitied and mourned for her daughters, but trusted into the care of the same gods and spirits beyond the edge of the forest. And in the darkness of the unrestored, the daughters cackled, cow despite their beaks, despite their deeply hungry eyes.